Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Heroes of the Dorm. We are here in the Epic 8. We're trying to find out who will advance to the semifinals, and right now, Boston College currently leading 1-0 with a clean, smooth, careful performance in this very first match, looking in good position to take the series 2-0.
It's the same story we saw last week in the Super 16. They are very clean, as you mentioned, by day 9. We had fantastic play by them last week. And now in game number 1, they're on point. They seem to have no jitters. They're literally waiting out their opponents. They're playing methodically as well. And it's something that I'm proud of, man. It's cool to watch. It's a lot of fun. Boston College wasn't a team that thought was going to get this far, and they are showing that they deserve to be here.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of these difficult situations based around getting exact timing within a few seconds. I mean, the Zeratul Diablo combo that we've talked about so many times is very easy for a single messed up execution to spell doom for a team fight.
Now, if they do it perfectly, that doesn't mean that there's no counterplay. Keep in mind the hero levels were a little bit tilted in favor of Boston College, but also there's a wide selection of heroes in Heroes of the Storm available. You may not see all of them all the time, but some of them have some excellent disengage mechanics. Brightwing with Emerald Wing, push everyone away. Falstad can push everyone away. You've got that force wall there for the Tassadar. So anytime that the opponent tries to make everything work, all the eggs in one basket, trying to make a combination work, there are counter plays available against it, as well as pre-splitting.
Yeah. Break a couple of their eggs, man. Pick up Shen, get a Wandering Keg, and roll around, dude. Mess them up. And I think we need to see that maybe in game number 2 if we see the same strategy here from Boston College.
Yeah. Let's take a look at one of our player spotlights, Peter Zeros Zhang from Western Ontario, who enjoys motocross racing and plans to attend medical school next year, playing primarily in the assassin role, with Jaina being his most chosen hero. And I gotta say, that last match, we've talked about it before, there were good opportunities for Western Ontario. They were just a little bit behind in levels, and as we've also talked about many times during this broadcast, just a single map doesn't define how the team's going to perform. Strategies change wildly from Battleground to Battleground. The next one is going to be Cursed Hollow, a map with many, many objectives. Let's take a look at it. Now, Cursed Hollow, the core concept to the entire map is the tributes. 3 lanes with lots and lots of space in between. The tributes pop up in between. If you get 3, the enemy team's minions' health reduced to 1. Their towers, their forts shut off, allowing for a massive opportunity to swing in. But of course, the 6 mercenary camps littered across the map means there are many opportunities for options, many opportunities for counter plays, getting the bruisers, getting the boss, all trying to eventually push towards the core. And I gotta say, this is personally my favorite map. Maybe it's because I play Tyrande and I like to be part of the roaming comp, but I mean, what are your thoughts on the general mixture these players should go for?
I think Cursed Hollow has one of the largest amounts of different objectives that you can be going for. So some maps, it's quite linear. Get down there, get in the mines, collect skulls, and make a big golem for me. But on this map, there's so many different things to do. 6 mercenary camps. Last one only had 4. There's tributes are spawning left and right, and there's so much different things to do, so many lanes, that you see a lot of strategical team play here, and that will be very defining in their hero picks.
I do want to mention also, as we go straight in the draft, Tassadar to be picked up, is that the combo that was picked up by Boston College in the last game isn't as good on this map, not because there's nowhere to put it, but because tributes are constantly spawning all the time, which means their heroics might not be up. So Western Ontario, smart pick here by grabbing this battleground.
Yeah, and one of those, I mean, Boston College just used Zeratul to great effect. One of those great disengagers, making sure there can be no follow-up, is Tassadar. Smart pick there. So far, we see some of the same heroes being crafted by Boston College with the Uther there, but they haven't gone for Diablo yet.
I mean, this is a relatively solid set of picks that we're seeing with Uther and ETC. Jaina, as we just talked about, Zeros, known as the most popular picker of Jaina. Diablo for Kupo. Very excited to see Diablo on the Western Ontario half of things. If you can't beat him, pick him. You don't have to fight against Apocalypse if you're the one with Apocalypse.
Now, Trixler, Boston College, they have one more hero pick. Do you think it's going to be Tyrande to take Tyrande away from Diablo?
It could have been a possibility, but I don't think it quite fits in this comp. There is the power slide potential that Uther stun into a Lunar Flare, but you need a little bit more damage here. And so looking at it, I'm seeing Falstad and Sylvanas, and actually, for Boston College, this is a good comp for them. I believe they ran this comp last week and had Tyrael as their 5th pick. I'm actually kind of expecting a Tyrael here. Looking over at Western Ontario, let's see what's going to be happening.
Yeah, never going to disappoint. Lost Vikings straight up. And, oh, interesting. Malfurion is a choice that we generally see on a little bit of tighter maps with an area of healing instead of a single target of healing. Grubby, what's your thought on this final Malfurion pick?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, they got their favorite Lost Vikings again, who, by the way, is amazing on Cursed Hollow. And that does mean that they have 7 bodies on the map instead of 5. Area of effect healing, it just fits in perfectly.
Oh, wow, and it looks like Tyrael will be the 5th pick here. And Boston College just runs this composition so well. It's going to be a delight to watch it, win or lose, regardless. They'll do the... Look at you, you're so happy. You're glowing.
I'm seriously, I'm getting all giddy and excited because Tyrael has the coolest heroic in the game, Judgment, just slamming into the opponent. There's not a lot of positioning needed. You go from A to B in quick succession. Is an extremely, extremely difficult hero to fight against. Again, Judgment is a heroic that allows you to dash directly at an enemy, dealing damage, stunning, and knocking all the other the enemy heroes away. You now get to target that single hero, and I think most importantly, it's virtually impossible to dodge.
Yeah, I mean, there is a number of ways to dodge, but you've got to be so fast.
Well, jumping straight into it, this is Cursed Hollow. Remember, the tributes will be spawning in locations that are here, 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 and here. You will see that happen randomly throughout the entire game. Now, of course, there is a number of mercenary camps that are very important for our teams that you'll see them try to grab throughout the battleground. Super important, but overall, you want to take out these cores. So we'll be going straight into it as we are now on Cursed Hollow. Day 9, the game is beginning. Are you ready, man?
Oh my God, I am so ready. Tim, are you ready, Grubby?
I am as ready as you are, Day 9, to watch this amazing game here. Game number 2 between these two teams, Boston College and Western Ontario.
Now, you'll recall King Plato was heavy on the roam. In the previous match was Zeratul, already positioning with Sylvanas in between. In these moments, it's relatively rare to see large conflicts being set up. It's more of traps being in position. Down at the far south, we can see Kupo and Jirani also set up in these bushes.
Now, Hat at the top lane, Hat is holding the fort by himself with all 3 Vikings. It looks like Fabs, Apollo, and King Plato there on the Sylvanas, Falstad, and Uther. They're trying to maybe get some pickoffs again like they had last game. That worked pretty well for them. Gave them some early game experience lead there. And moreover than that, they can do some heavy pressure on the tower there. Look how fast it's going. Halfway down. 400 experience points will it grant if they take it down, so there needs to be an immediate reaction.
And normally the way you defend this is you have some members actually move from the middle map and come up and help defend. However, that's not happening here for Western Ontario, which is going to give Boston College the free reign here to take down these turrets. This is free experience for them right now.
Yeah, we talked about this last game. Sylvanas' shot disables towers. There it is, the dark blackened color, unable to fire. 2 turrets go down. Let's head to the south end to see what is the answer from Western Ontario, because, I mean, it's 90 seconds into the game and 2 towers are down.
It looks like they finally respond here as 2 members do transition all the way from the bottom lane to get up here, but it's a little too late, Grubby.
Yeah, it is too late. 2 towers are down already. You could even, in theory, leave Apollo here by himself and just have Fabs and King Plato go to a different lane and then rinse and repeat at a different area.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Kupo and Jirani are sort of showing up like a bad buddy cop movie. Hey, we're here to save the towers. Oh my God, I guess we're going to go to mid lane.
There are no towers.
We're too late, too bad. We don't have to work too hard.
Well, good news here for the Western Ontario team here, as there will be a tribute pretty soon, which should stop that pressure for a little bit here. We do see Boston College grabbing the Giants on the far left, which again will push that top lane and give them a little bit of pressure. It's all about where the tribute spawns here pretty soon.
Yeah, anywhere from now until 30 seconds from now, randomly the tribute will spawn in either the north or the south area. What the blue team wants here, what Boston College wants, spawning those siege giants there, pushing the top lane, they would hope for the tribute to spawn at the bottom. If that happens, it's going to create a very difficult situation for Western Ontario, where they may need to decide to forfeit that first tribute while gaining maximum amount of experience in different lanes.
But I do think that forfeiting a tribute, not going for it, can be a very good play. Kupo and Jirani are continuing to roam. It seems that everywhere they show up, there's either no heroes or 3 heroes. So as they're heading up north to the tribute, yeah, I would probably say that Western Ontario would be in good shape to be comfortable trying to either not get this tribute or just to try to poke down. I mean, they're not in the best spot, especially with level 6 already there.
Now, very cool here what we saw Hat do. He sent Eric, one of the Vikings, to the middle lane. Jaina and Tyrio are still at the bottom, 1 apiece. But this means that Western Ontario is collecting 100% of the XP in every lane. ETC just left the middle lane, which means that the blue team, Boston College, is under more time pressure to capture this one quickly. They gotta wrap it up, man, and that's what they're trying to do here. But Croncodium, he says, as much time as I can buy, the more advantage we will be gaining here.
I mean, this is the subtle lead that we saw Arizona State pull off. If you just have one hero in every single lane, you can sometimes get an experienced lead without anything too magnificent happening. But
now, I do have to mention that Boston College handled this admirably. They did wrap it up quickly. They do have a little bit of an experience lead still, thanks to those 2 towers, but they handled it quickly enough, so style points to them for now.
Western Ontario at this point in time, continuing to go toe-to-toe in the top lane. As we descend down to mid, we're starting to see the one-on-ones are not really going too far forward for Boston College, as Croncodium is continuing to aggressively storm with Tassadar to push forward, almost out of ammo on those towers, and it looks like the next target for Boston College is going to be these Bruiser camps, trying to sync up again with the Tribute.
Now they may be a little bit late, as the Tribute is already spawning in somewhat the top right. I'm not sure that Boston College is in a position to contest this one, Trixler.
Yeah, I would recommend actually not going into this. Just give up the Tribute. Western Ontario is in a great position, and they know it. They grab the Tribute. It is now 1-1 to our teams. The good news for Boston College is they're able to have pressure now here in the middle lane. Let's go check that out really quickly, as we're going to be able to see. Oh, actually, wow, he actually was waiting a little bit there before grabbing the curse, but did grab the Tribute, which of course gives him that one.
A little tiny slip up. It was at 99%, and Jirani moved away a little too soon.
No.
Nerves
Okay. No,
revealing themselves a little bit to Jirani, yeah.
Let's chalk that up to strategic value. They were going hardcore for it. They wanted to delay the Tribute on purpose. But we do have Boston College now pushing the middle lane. Hat does have a lone Viking in trouble. Olaf, you got to run, buddy. It looks like he may just get picked off. Nicely done.
All right, he did get picked off. Another 1/4 takedown there for Boston College, who have reached level 9 against 8.5 from Western Ontario. Now, with that Tribute being delayed a little bit, could it be strategical?
So it's strategical, as the third one will be coming up pretty soon. However, it will actually hurt Boston College with the delay, or hurt Western Ontario. With the delay, Boston College gets a 10 quicker.
Yeah, exactly. Because they are now about 60% towards level 10. It's not spawning quite yet. They're using the time here to get a Siege Giant camp. And there we go with the Tribute at the lower half of the map. Positional advantage goes to Western Ontario, but they don't really want an all-out fight here. Sure, make use of any advantage you can get if one hero unknowingly walks into the bush here. Apollo!
King Plato is going to waltz forward. Sylvanas is the worst person to be that far forward, as you see, squishy as can be. Sylvanas falls in a matter of seconds. Maybe that's even too long of a statement. Fell in about 1 second. The ambush set up by Western Ontario successfully deflects, and we see that even though heroic talents are there, level 10 for Boston College, it might not matter. Opula, oh no, getting caught way out of position. The mobility of Falstad will be the only thing letting Opula stay alive.
That was very well availed them. I mean, that was very well done by Western Ontario. They were down a level, but they made use of a positional advantage. Look for exactly those kind of moves to make a difference in the mid, also to the late game, to potentially get something good out of a bad situation.
Grubby, it's the little moves that make you the best, or one of the best players or the best teams in the game. And we see the entire blue team, Boston College, now starting to group up. They realize they've actually kind of tossed away their really quick lead they grabbed in the early game, and now both teams are relatively even. They're trying to find a situation where they can get into a team fight and potentially secure a takedown. Here we go. Semi-Cute charges in, but was it on point?
No, it wasn't. The gate is there to protect everyone. Jirani is actually moving out a little bit too much. I'm not sure why he's so aggressive, but he does have that Tranquility on, so there's a lot of healing there. 2 heroics used, Judgment and the stage dive by Boston College, 1 used by Garani. So there are right now 3 ultimates up apiece.
Day 9, could Boston College be a little shaken up right now?
That was a very weird move. 4 pooled in the middle by the mid towers, doing nothing, not even soaking experience, then running back down south with you. The level lead is now with Western Ontario. The Lost Vikings up at the top side. It's time to Longboat, managing to do reasonable damage to King Plato, but most importantly, isolation. King Plato disappears in a beautiful act of magic, and we see that this tribute is going to go in the favor of Western Ontario.
Now that Longboat raid was used just to save themselves. They had already used their basic ability called Jump. and they just used it to escape. They have a lot of damage there, but I don't fully understand why Sylvanas was on the right there, King Play-Doh. Maybe he thought he was Zeratul from last game as well. But no, didn't manage to make his getaway there.
Western Ontario is really taking this lead and pushing with it. They have now secured a curse, by the way. They have the golem pushing in the top left corner. May gets caught up in the shit. And this seems to be a bit of a small meltdown from Boston College. Game number 1, they were on point, methodical, on point. They also came into this game as well. For the first couple of levels, they knew what they were doing. And right now, they're getting caught one by one, and it's giving Western Ontario a great lead.
It's the splitting decisions from Boston College that are causing problems, and the great zoning and punishment by Western Ontario. You saw Tyrael there, a pretty hard to kill character, a lot of health on Tyrael, easily overpowered, stunned, bursted by Jaina. The coordination is kicking into high gear for Western Ontario.
Really quickly, let's go ahead and pull up the mini-map, and we do see that the blue team put pressure in the middle. They put a little bit of pressure on the bottom lane, but they have to defend up here on the top left corner, as we see Western Ontario keeping up with that pressure.
Now all the Vikings are being pulled together here to join the fray, which means another longboat raid could be being used here. Level 13 for Western Ontario against 12 from Boston College. Western Ontario wouldn't mind a pretty good fight here, even if it's a 5v5. This is an advantageous situation. Jumping in there on Apollo, goes away with the barrel roll and the stage dive.
Oh my goodness. Tyrael darting in with judgment. The shock and awe from Falstad. Most of the red players from Western Ontario were hit, but the edge in Talons, Western Ontario is continuing to fight back. It's 1-for-1, 4 players versus 4 players. It looks like the extra boost that was coming from the Siege Golems and from the boss himself helped soak up a little bit of extra damage, and that's going to be one of the big helpers that is letting Western Ontario disengage at this point.
Finally, we see the coordination that Boston College are known for. We've seen it in games before. They're getting back together a little bit here as we move into the mid game, and this is a great time to actually do that, as you get to a point where if you get a team wipe, potentially you could end the game. So they needed to stop Western Ontario, and they did. Kudos to them. Now it's all about the next tributes.
Now, the Tyrael and the ETC combination here is really what's making the initiation for Boston College. Falstad went for a basic attack build. He's just continuing to add damage from the backlines. And for Sylvanas, it's much the same thing. She also picked up the arrow ability at level 13 that allows her to move quicker. So they're just shooting from the backline while all the focus is on Tyrael and ETC. What Western Ontario needs to do is make sure that they can defend against that all-in. Now they're starting to go on King Play-Doh again. He was so close. Divine Shield there from the Uther. Nice save by Fabs. Zero's out of position, uses Ice Block there. Jaina will be safe. Longboat raid is activated.
Wow, Jaina fell so fast after the ice block went down. Mayet manages to barely evade everything, and down we see Fabs continuing to pull the disengage. A single player lost on Team Western Ontario with Jaina there, and we're seeing, oh, there's Opula narrowly avoiding any kind of stun after the overpower from Kupo. Cronconium continuing to disengage, and it looks like Boston College not willing to disengage here, going to continue to drill through and try to eliminate the Southern Fort.
I do want to mention Semi-Cute actually here in the top left corner did use the stage dive to try and jump and try and catch someone in that bush. Unfortunately, Tassadar did juke him out and get down to the bottom right corner, but that means one heroic is down for when the next tribute does spawn, and we actually will be having one pretty darn soon.
One tribute was actually picked up by Hat, just sending a single Viking up to grab it while the rest of Boston College was trying to shove in mid and bottom.
Now the total amount of forts is 5 on the blue side against 6 from Western Ontario. The keep on the left side there for Boston College is quite low. Now the experience is very, very even. Both teams are at level 15.5, a testament to how close this game is here. And now in the middle, a lot of heroes are gathering up here.
This gets me a little bit worried because Boston College originally lost their lead by grouping up in an area like this when there's other opportunities. They're pushing here, but there's no secondary pressure. There's not Siege or Bruisers or Boss. There's nothing else pushing in another lane. So even though this is doing a little bit of good, look at this. Level 16 goes to Western Ontario first. It's these sorts of plays that Boston College has to be careful of.
And they were able to grab level 16, by the way, because they had Tassadar pushing down this bottom lane and soaked all the experience, which means now they are at level 16, as you did mention, means they're a little bit ahead of their opponents. Now Boston College did catch up, but again, you can see this tug of war happening here as both teams are fighting over these levels, but oh no, in the middle, looks like there may have been a close fight. King Plato does barely get away.
All right, the positional advantage for this Tribute spawning here is definitely in favor of Western Ontario. They've got all their heroes together, and the blue team, Boston College, they're in 3 different places. Now, do they want to do this? Do they want to fight for this Tribute? It's not a cursed Tribute yet. It's just 2 out of 3, so they may just want to let this one go.
Apollo, though, in trouble in the bottom right corner. Day 9, he actually has to run away, but that looks like the Tribute just goes straight to Western Ontario. They are currently at 2 out of 3 Tributes.
I don't know what I think about this, Grubby. This is a very big risk. This is either an incredible display of confidence, or it's time to throw the game. Stage dive, darts in. Jirani taking massive damage, falls. All the red health bars starting to plummet. Kupo down in the south. Will he be able to get taken out? Mayet also falls.
2 down each.
And finally, we see Fabs trying to clean up the Vikings. King Plato narrowly avoids with an inch of health. Health bars low. Players dropping from both teams.
This is insane.
Oh my gosh.
This is insane.
We're going to start the game over after this.
Incredibly close.
Amazingly, the last one standing was the first one to get hit in the fight. Apollo. Kupo, of course, with the trait of Diablo, regenerates, comes back to life within 3 seconds of death, and I really don't know who wins this 1v1.
Well, Apollo's looking like it just because he's being a little bit more comfortable here, and also he's in the mid to late game, which means he's a little bit stronger than a melee character like the Lord of Terror we just saw there. So now Apollo, keeping up with the pressure, he's actually waiting for his teammates before he wants to go into any engagement. His job right now is to deny this Tribute as long as possible. He's going to be able to do so a little bit longer, but he's got to be careful.
Oh, very nice Entangle follow-up. They're just short of the mark, and Apollo uses that barrel roll to get away to safety. The Vikings are coming back in here, and they're starting to help. They respawn a little bit quicker than every other hero. Diablo has that same advantage when he's got enough stones, which is his trait. When he has enough soul stones, he can resurrect quickly, and that is why we had a 1v1, because that was actually a full team wipe by Boston College. This gives them a slight experience lead, but the blue team is now cursed, so see that to be equalized very, very soon here.
This is absolutely neck and neck. We've seen Boston College do very well in tight, dense team fights. But with this curse, Western Ontario ain't gaining any less experience from killing off the 1-hit point creeps and the disabled towers. By sweeping down to the south side, Western Ontario is more than likely to not just catch up in levels, but to get the level lead, to get to that inflection point at level 20.
Oh,
the stage dive comes in. We see the rest of Boston College darting in from above. Fabs a little bit too deep. The longboat trying to lob shots in there. It looks like the disengage from Boston College is going to turn out to be a very wise decision after picking off just a single character from Western Ontario. Diablo is finally out of this fight.
Yep, they took down Kupo there rather quickly, even as ETC dived back in there. Crocodium still has his escape with the dimensional shift there. There goes the second one from Prescient, but that's it. He has no more escapes. He's going to get taken down there, and level 19 for Boston College, which also leads to the victor goes the spoils. They were right next to the grave column. That's exactly what they wanted, where they wanted to be at. They're going to get that one, and that's going to guarantee them the bottom fort, as well as pressure on Western Ontario's keep.
I mean, the boss is an excellent way to compound an advantage. Still 34 seconds remain until Tassadar responds. Diablo is back in the action. How is Western Ontario going to try to answer this? Will they go for encampments of their own? It looks like the Bruisers are a target to just temporarily mitigate the pressure that they're feeling from Boston. If they get the double boss, oh my god, Jirani is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Mayet, will he be able to actually dart in there and deal damage? Judgment winds up being up at the last second. Jirani is extremely low. Ice block, will it be able to keep Jirani alive? He is in the center of action. Malfurion has fallen.
Or Jirani, and that will also give Boston College level 20, and they are also going to secure this golem in the top left corner. This boss is huge, and remember, down in the very far bottom right corner, they have their own boss already pushing. This gives Boston College so much pressure on the battleground. Is pulling up the minimap. You can see they're going to have all this pressure up here, all the pressure down here, and they're kind of missing out a little bit over here. But for the most part, 2 lanes they have secured. They're looking great.
Yeah, that was a big mistake there a little bit by Western Ontario, as they just captured the Bruiser camp, so Boston College knew where they were. They were setting that trap, and as if it wasn't bad enough yet that the boss was pushing, now we are with the second boss, and even those Siege Giants, which finally caught up there in the lane. This is a big attack, and I don't see how this doesn't lead to a keep kill.
They want the keep. That's all they care about. If they get the keep, great. If they're able to get a couple of takedowns as well, that might be game. So for the red team, they're going to try and poke down. Oh gosh, here we go. Mate going in.
Cronconium extremely low, trying to dodge the stage dive, does manage to evade it. Kupo trying to just burn every single member of Team Boston College down, but look at the health, all of them well over 2/3 HP. It's a 4-on-5. The Golem continues to charge, and level 19 to level 20 is the longest feeling level up in the entire game. We see the Water Elemental down for zeros, purely shooting at the Golem. This is going to be very dangerous. 2 of the heroic abilities are down right now for Western Ontario. It's unclear how long until they're going to be able to get into an advantageous team fight, with level 19 still limiting their chance to get the Storm Talents.
Now, Western Ontario is 5% away from getting level 20. At that point, they need to ask themselves the question, is waiting going to make things better for us or worse? Or do we need to make something happen? Sometimes you don't want to make something happen. You're afraid to jump into battle, or you can't get a good position. But with the keep down, catapults are pushing down the lane. The whole map is painted blue, and Western Ontario, they need to make something happen. Like, even if they don't want it, they need to make a risk here. They're fighting for their lives, and once they have level 20, a fight may happen.
Even these golems at the south, or excuse me, the siege giants at the south, they're not really setting up a play. It's almost to make sure that Boston College doesn't get the siege giants. It's to do anything. Right now, this center keep really a godsend, giving a little bit of extra mobility for Western Ontario to move from top to bottom, but we can see the pings on the mini-map to the left. Boston College is headed towards their bruiser camp to apply pressure to that critical central keep.
Yeah, if they're grabbing this bruiser camp, they'll be grabbing the golem as well down here in the bottom left corner, as that will be spawning pretty soon, about a good 30 to 40 seconds. But yeah, right now, Boston College has full control of the entire map. You see the red team, a few over here, a couple over here, just trying their best to defend everything being thrown at them. And Boston College right now keeping that up, and they want to get the third tribute, as when they do get it, now as it's spawning, they'll be able to grab Curse, and this might be the potential game-winning push they could pull off.
Yeah, this is it, guys. Western Ontario cannot allow the Curse to be picked up here by Boston College. Look for them moving in. They're coming through a choke, though. They're going to need to interrupt Fabs to even have a chance of denying this one. Kupo in front there, just where he needs to be. Zeros and Cronconium staying at the back. Position is getting better for Western Ontario there, as long as they are aware that there's an ambush here in the bushes. They cannot see them. Judgment in on Garani, an immediate hinterland blast, and he gets taken down immediately. No more Malfurion, no more healer. Kupo uses the lightning breath, but will get taken down. Cronconium, who's next? Zeros, Cronconium. Viking Longbow can't do it by himself. There's no healing anymore. Cronconium trying to get away there, but they're getting aggressively chased down.
The instant peekaboo from Tyrael charging straight into the fight. The follow-up from Falstad turned it into a 5v4 that is now really game for Western Ontario at this point. Tassadar is the only one left alive up at the north, trying to stay there, and it looks like no attempt to finish off any other encampments. It's a sprint towards the goal. The one single keep in mid. Oh, and they get the Curse too. Semi-cute doing the extremely cute play.
Yeah, they got everything here. They can just go from the top where it's already open and start attacking the core. It has been a full wipe. All 5 are down there trying to resurrect in the core, but the core is starting to take damage. And this was, I mean, it was just a great fight for Boston College.
Boston College, remember, in the early game started to fall apart a little bit, but as you saw, as they went to the mid game, they got their composure back, made it to the late game, and made some solid plays overall to take game number 2. They will be advancing to the Heroic 4. Well done.
Good game to Boston College. The game was so close. Western Ontario getting the lead, Boston getting the lead, Western Ontario again. In the end, Boston College not only manages to secure a pretty close game on Cursed Hollow, but they now will also be joining the Heroic 4 at next weekend's Grand Finals for a chance to win the first place prize, free tuition.
I do want to mention Western Ontario, man. You could see why they were 20-0 coming into this game. They had some moments there where they were very powerful. Looked like they had potentially even the game in their hands. There's a couple flubs here and there, and Boston College bringing it back, showing that they are maybe the underdog here because they had a couple of losses overall, but they are here to stay. Moving to the Heroic 4. Congratulations to them. Fantastic.
Yeah, very well done there by them, as no matter whether they were a little bit ahead or a little bit behind, they managed to pull it all the way there and got that 2-0. Very well played too by Western Ontario. I think they turned some heads here. They deserve a little bit of an applause. And but it just wasn't good enough today.
I want to show you how close this game was. I'm going to show you one replay here where we had a fantastic team fight between both members. I believe we saw Western Ontario coming down the bottom left to grab a golem. You see them here. They grab the tribute. They're feeling comfortable. They're really feeling themselves, if you will, as they're just really playing so well overall. They're very confident. You see them going straight for the golem, and Mate shows up. Look at him. He goes, guys, I want to fight. You see him posturing, ready to move in. And as soon as we see the stage out, can we get a pause here? Look at this. We see SimiQ moving. Immediately, he grabs the entire area and he sections off these 4 members. You see Crankium starting to head up here in the top right corner. Jaina is forced to walk away as well because Tyrael might be able to come in and fully engage on her. So we're going to be seeing that pretty soon. We'll get a play. But also, one more thing that I want to point out is this bad boy right here, Diablo. Diablo walks up, grabs this area, and then from there will use his lightning breath to hold the entire front line in this entire area. So he's going to be able to put a lot of zoning potential on there. What Boston College does is fantastic in terms of teamwork. So let's go ahead and hit play here and check it out here. SimiQ charges forward, jumps on 0. The Henteron Blast does so much damage. You see the Fire Breath overall looking really, really great here, but Crankium actually gets stunned by the Golem in this top left corner, which actually takes out a lot of the damage from the fight. And although it's close, if that damage had been there, we may have seen a Western Ontario win. But Apollo, with the amazing teamwork from Fabs, just healing everyone here, doing a great job of keeping his teammates alive, will slowly but surely pick off the damage dealer. Jaina on the top right corner, Cranknanium in trouble as well. This Ghost from Uther is healing left and right, and you just see the teamwork, the small amount of work that the butting of heads eventually working out there for Boston College.
And we talked about this before. This is the danger of the boss. Sometimes you're in a position with your whole team and you go, hey, if we take the boss right there, that would be pretty cool, huh? And of course, the opportunity presented itself, but the teamwork was just too good for Boston College. They will be heading to the Heroic 4 broadcast live on ESPN next Sunday from Los Angeles. Now, of course, though we are halfway through the matches for the day, we're not done yet. When we return, it's going to be Indiana versus Illinois as we continue the Epic 8 here at Heroes of the Dorm. See you soon.